Kenya gained its independence in 1963, 3 years after the end of the Mau Mau Uprising. The Mau Mau Uprising, which lasted from 1952 to 1960, was one of the most significant anti-colonial revolts in Africa. It was waged by Kenya's dispossessed rural poor, primarily landless Kikuyu peasants, against British colonial rule, settler domination, and the African elite who collaborated with the colonial state. Though militarily suppressed, the uprising deeply unsettled the British Empire and shifted the trajectory towards Kenyan independence, achieved in 1963. To truly understand the Mau Mau Uprising, however, we must go beyond the violence in the forest and examine the deep class and ethnic fractures that colonialism produced and exploited. British colonialism in Kenya violently restructured society. After the 1890s, vast tracts of Kikuyu land were expropriated and turned into settler plantations, forcing indigenous populations into squatting, wage labor, or reserves. The Kikuyu, who bore the brunt of land dispossession in the central highlands, were especially affected, creating a vast underclass of landless rural poor. Colonial policy exacerbated ethnic tensions by introducing quote-unquote tribal administration, entrenching ethnic identities in legal and political systems, and distributing resources unevenly. This divide and rule logic would shape Kenya's post-colonial dynamics and fragment resistance. The Mau Mau movement was not a nationalist struggle in the elite-led parliamentary sense. It was a rural class war led largely by landless Kikuyu peasants, squatter farmers, and young unemployed men who had been blocked from accessing land or inheritance due to both colonial law and the rise of a new African elite. Many Mau Mau fighters had once worked on white settler farms under exploitative conditions. Others were veterans of World War II, radicalized by their experience fighting for the British, only to return to landlessness and discrimination. Women also played indispensable roles as messengers, nurses, informants, and spiritual leaders, though they were later marginalized in official narratives. Importantly, though, not all Kikuyu supported Mau Mau. A growing African elite of colonial loyalists, Christian converts, and mission-educated middle-class figures, including many chiefs and political intermediaries, aligned with the British. These loyalists formed part of the Home Guard, fighting alongside colonial forces and brutally suppressing the rebellion. Many of these collaborators were later rewarded with land and political power after independence and formed the new ruling class of Kenya.